Hi, my name is Levner, and I'm an associate professor of film at UNLV. I've been here 10 years now, and I did get an opportunity to work in a couple of interdisciplinary projects over the years. Most recently, I had a really great opportunity to work with the William S. Boyd Law School. They approached our department saying that they wanted to create a short documentary about an issue that they were passionate about. They have been working with Nevada Senator Dina Neal on an issue, and they thought that film would be the best way to get awareness about the issue out there. So together we collaborated. And so I teach a documentary class every spring, and the law school became our client. They came in, they pitched the concept to the students, and the students had the semester to create the short documentary. And the documentary was about a community called Windsor Park, which is in North Las Vegas. It's a historically African-American community built in the 1960s that had undergone a lot of subsidence, and a lot of the homes had become cracked, foundations cracked, started to have major issues because they were built on a fault. There had been some attempts to kind of compensate and fix these issues, but not enough had been done over the decades. And a lot of the residents were still, to this day, sitting there with their homes in disrepair. And Nevada Senator Dina Neal took the issue to heart and wanted to do something about it. It's already been accepted to 9 film festivals, 3 of which are international. So it's being shown all across the world.
Interdisciplinary work is important in the university setting and in other industries as well. My experience with it has been in the university setting, and there are 4 key areas that I'd like to focus on in terms of talking about what interdisciplinary work has meant to me. One is, I think it's important for faculty and students to learn different communication styles. So law students and law professors communicate in one way, and working with the film department or working with the business school or engineering, you become familiar with other ways of communicating information both within your organization and to others. And I think that's a valuable skill to develop. As well as learning how to communicate across departments. That is, having lawyers and engineers understand each other and the challenges they're trying to address. A second feature of interdisciplinary work is the substantive skills that especially students learn. So in projects where students from different departments and different disciplines can take a moment to get out of their own kind of siloed space, their own way of approaching problems, and learn how students from another discipline approach problems. That just expands the way we think about and conceive our challenges that we're trying to address. So I'll start with the commonality, which is that both lawyers and documentary producers are in the storytelling business. So we both were thinking about what is a persuasive narrative to tell about Windsor Park. In the law school, we had a legal framework for that, and we were trying to think of causes of action and what would be persuasive to a judge or what might be persuasive to a politician or a developer. And that's the overlap with the film department, is they weren't necessarily thinking about a judge and a narrative in a court, but what narrative would be persuasive to a politician, a developer, or a community member or activist in telling the story of Windsor Park and what the community had endured. In the making of the documentary, there was a piece that was legal in terms of talking about the potential legal claims or discussing subsidence and what that meant to the community. And then there was the part of the narrative that was less legal and more humanizing, the community members telling their story and what living in that community has meant to them over the years. And so I think by combining those 2 approaches and combining those 2 departments, we get the fullest narrative that I think would help the Windsor Park community the most.
last spring, Dr. Linda Lister from the opera program in the music school reached out to me and asked if any of my students would be interested in filming and then editing together their production of their opera, because at the time, with COVID hitting, they wanted to stream it. So this was a great opportunity for my students in my editing class to film and edit together an opera. And it was actually a really fun experience because a lot of the students, because of COVID, had not been on a set before. So they were really excited to actually be filming and doing something, even though it was like, you know, a very pared down production because of COVID protocols. We had, you know, 3 cameras filming over the course of 3 days. This opera, a 3-act opera. And then the editing class of 24 students took that footage and edited it together into a completed program, which was then streamed online, and the students got credit. It was great for the opera program because they also got the experience to kind of what it would be like to film something, and then they were able to get their art out there, you know, instead of just not, you know, pushing another production aside because of COVID. We adjusted and we made it available via streaming, and we utilized our connections within the college to make that happen.